Welcome back to the NASCAR The Game 2013 Robby Gordon season mode, coming off of one of my favorite racetracks at Auto Club in Fontana, California. We scored the victory there after a very late race rally because of my own pit road decisions. 203 points is the current amount that we've scored. 4 wins in 5 races, the only exception being that 32nd place finish at Bristol. Casey Mears got second in the most recent race at Auto Club. He now moves up to second in points. 3 top 10s out of 5 races. Paul Menard sets third. Still impressive there. Matt Kenseth, 4th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the rookie, in 5th. Ryan Newman, 6th. Martin Truex Jr., 7th. Greg Biffle, 8th. Carl Edwards, 9th. Dennis Hamlin, 10th. Juan Pablo Montoya and the real 2013 champion, Jimmy Johnson, round out your chase grid. And it's worth noting, the only other winner this season, David Reagan, who won at Bristol, has fallen outside of the top 12. Sets down 16th currently in points. Remember, this is the final season of the true chase, so that means that no win and you're in nonsense. But anyway, now we continue on the season to Martinsville in Ridgeway, Virginia. And like I teased in the last episode, this racetrack very much is the opposite of Bristol in this game, because Bristol's very one-sided towards the AI cars. Martinsville is very one-sided towards the players, so you'll be able to check that out as we go through this race. But there's a very serious possibility that we lap the field.
Let's make sure that car's set up just like you want it for qualifying. Get out on the track and see what you think.
By the way, you gotta love the numbers on this 07 car. It's not tilted, and it's a little bit too high. It just makes us look even more low budget. And we're going to apply the pre-made qualifying setup that I've developed, which, by the way, also shares as my race setup. I don't tinker on it very much, as you really don't need to. Anyway, immediately on to qualification. Do not need practice laps around this joint.
Let's get a good solid run today, bud. No unnecessary risk. Just drive it like you know you can.
Here's one thing I always forget to put into the setup, so I'm just going to adjust it right now. I'm going to increase brake bias to the maximum adjustment. Trust me, it works in this game. There we go. Full brake bias. Now out to make the qualifying lap as I almost stall the car. There we go. Quickly up into 4th gear. There we go. Get this thing to work off of turn number 4.
We know how important it is to get a good starting spot here. It'll make all the difference.
Not sure it's going to make all the difference. It's definitely going to make a little bit. Earnhardt Jr. on the pole currently. There we go. Rocket off of turn 4. Definitely not the pole. We're going to qualify 36th.
Try to improve that first lap.
Caught the curb. Powered off very nicely, though. Overdrove it, maybe. A little bit better, still 36th. Don't worry about that starting position, by the way. I know I said it's very one-sided towards the player, but...
Good qualifying is important, but you're good enough to make it up on race day.
See, exactly. We do not have to worry about qualifying position in this race, and I think you're going to enjoy seeing just how lopsided the AI's performance is from qualifying to the race. In fact, in the race, no one's going to be able to go sub 21 seconds, let alone into the 19s like they do in this qualifying session. Last place qualifier was Josh Wise. From there, once again, it looks like qualifying results are pretty tame. You know, competitive drivers up in the front, Earnhardt Jr., Kevin Harvick, your front row, Johnson, Kenseth, Kyle Busch actually in 5th, Travis Pastrana in 8th. Never mind about the competitive drivers in the top 10, but from there, I know it sounds bad that we qualified 36th, but I want you to just take note of how slow the AIs are around this place in race trim.
Crowd's fired up. Let's give them a great show.
Hello and welcome to Fox Sports coverage of the Goodies Fast Relief 500 from Martinsville, Virginia. I'm Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip.
You know, Mike, we call this the paperclip. Those long straightaways, tight turns, really hard on brakes, and you're going to need some good brakes if you're going to win here today.
Concrete corners, asphalt straightaways, a real challenge.
It is. The transition from one to the other, you get a lot of wheel spin. That's what these guys will be working on.
Folks, let's get ready for some short track slam and bang at the friendly confines of NASCAR's shortest track.
Love those Fox Sports intros in this game. This is when the Fox Sports coverage was actually good.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go concrete racing, boys and girls. All right, buddy, this is a big day.
Only half.
Shine. Drive hard. Don't be too aggressive.
All right, Mirror says wrong way. I just moved Austin Dillon. Fitting going off of the last race at Auto Club.
Clear on the inside.
Just rootin' gouging
Top at your door.
to the bottom.
Nice pass.
And look at how much slower
Outside.
the AI cars are compared to the player.
Nice
There we go. I just set the fastest lap.
Car up high.
But as you can tell, a car that qualifies 36th probably shouldn't be able to clear cars this easily. Seems like I get on the throttle, half a second earlier. Whoa! Kurt Busch really put it in there, and I followed him through. I mean, he almost just dumped Stenhouse right back there.
One outside.
See, the runs are so big because the AIs are slow enough to where I'm actually ramming them coming off the corner because I get back to the throttle committed so much sooner. See, right there. That, I do not have a good answer as to why they're so much better in qualifying, more realistic lap times, but
Right side's clear.
they're almost incapable of driving during race conditions. So let me show you.
Car right behind you.
I mean,
Three wide,
it's
two
that easy. There's no way to adjust difficulty, so
Looking outside.
don't go thinking that I somehow adjusted the difficulty from qualifying to the race. Once you set it for a race weekend, it's set. So
Car outside,
dive on in.
at your door. Closing on the bottom.
There goes Travis and Kenseth all the way up the hill. Kenseth took a pretty good shot. Gonna take the Clinton Boyer line for second.
Like we said today.
Around both Earnhardt and Kyle Busch. Jimmy Johnson's the leader.
Car at your door. Up top at your door. Yellow's out.
And there's the fun flag. Let's see who brought it out. Ricky, of course. Is it Danica? It was Danica that got Ricky. Very nice. Anyway, because track position doesn't matter at all, just for the fun of it, I'm going to come down pit road. I'm going to do exactly what I did again. And that's drive by absolutely everybody. And really 90% of the reason why I'm pitting is just to give you folks a race to watch. Because otherwise, like I said, we have a very legitimate chance of lapping the field, so I'm doing this just to give you a little bit of entertainment, because if I would have stayed out, I probably would lap the field on this cycle if we could go a little bit without a caution. And for just another reminder, this whole season's been done on champion difficulty. Right there, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is your front row. I'm going to restart down in 40th.
Nice pit stop right there.
But this whole season's been done on the hardest difficulty. You can tell the massive issues in balancing that this game has, like how hard it was to race competitively at Bristol compared to, say, here is the biggest contrast. Both being half miles, both being way off in difficulty.
Three wide, you're in the middle. We got this, buddy.
The AIs are so slow that it's almost hard not to run into them.
Car outside, trying to get to your corner.
Here we go. 3, maybe 4 wide. Let's just see how many cars we can stick into there.
Too high.
You know what? Scott Speed deserved that from Bristol. You remember him hanging right up in front of me. He kind of deserved that one. There's the runner-up
Dude, every position
in
is
both
4 points.
Fontana and in the points.
Three
Casey
wide,
Mears.
3 wide, you're in the middle. Caution's out, back her down.
Somebody got dumped. There was Paul Menard, by the way. And Ricky again. The no good, very bad day. I'm not going to pit this time,
Clean up truck, I'm on.
just because I don't feel like I need to. Then again, I really didn't need to last time, but since I'm in traffic, I can stay out. Since I'm just trying to make this somewhat entertaining. Man, Ricky's trying to wreck coming to the green. Clinton Boyer line.
3 wide, 2 outside.
3 wide on a restart. And everybody checking up on exit. Tony Stewart going 4 wide. Catching on to what I'm doing, just says screw it.
Car up high. Clear high.
Yeah, nice brake check.
Car outside. Car closing on the inside.
Paul Menard just stuck it in there underneath Matt Kenseth. He said screw ye and went underneath.
Car up top. wide, too high.
There we go, back up to 14th already. Little nudge. Total spin.
Behind you. Yellow, yellow.
I collected every single MWR car there, I believe. Travis Pastrana set in second. I was hoping I could wreck Johnson, send him to the back, so we could get a Pastrana leading moment. Yeah, I shoved Boyer in there a little bit faster than he could have made it. Total traffic jam was the result. Paul Menard just backing up into the field there. All right, so we're going to stay out. It looks like Travis, of all people, pitted. And we're going to restart in 7th. All right, let's try the Boyer line again.
One up top.
Oh.
Coming on the high side. 3 wide,
Nice.
2 outside.
We got him.
High side.
We absolutely got him. That was a jape of all japes.
Really good. Car 3 back.
The pace car is still running. There's...
And you're clear.
Yep, this race is already a 10 out of 10.
Cover your outside. At your door up top. Clear right.
Look at that, just how much slower they are coming off the corner.
Clear right side. Nice lap.
There we go,
That's the
fastest lap.
out there.
3 wide.
That's it, dude. Every position is more points.
Kyle Busch trying to wreck it right there.
On the high side. Stay low.
Overdriving it.
1 outside.
Jimmy Johnson ran a very surprising competitive high line right there. Not sure where he pulled that grip out of. All right, so here begins a bit of a boring phase of the race for the viewer, probably. Because it's just going to be me setting lap time.
Running great, buddy. All
Right
that
there,
work,
fastest
paying
lap.
off. Awesome lap. No one's gonna
Almost
touch you out
fastest
here
lap.
today.
In fact, I tied it. This is the portion of the race where I'm just waiting to see lap traffic. First man we're going to be able to see is McMurray, who I absolutely threw into that Jersey barrier type thing on the backstretch, which marks where the old pit road used to be in the new garage area. That was somehow the fastest lap,
You got the fastest car out there right now.
and that was horribly sloppy.
All day.
There we go. Even better fastest lap. Didn't throw the car into the wall that time. That's what made it better. And right up there is McMurray, who I absolutely destroyed. But he's actually setting a lot better pace than I would have thought, because he's actually catching up to the cars that are in front of him. Unfortunately for him, he's about to go a lap down, but still setting a good pace for ramming that wall as hard as I threw him into it. Don't know what's going on. Casey Kane, I guess, screwed it up. Weeble wobbling. Pick a line, man.
Clear on the low side.
Outside line pass at Martinsville.
Low side's clear.
Nothing better.
3 wide, 2 high. Car up high.
There we go.
Car approaching low. 3 wide.
Fitting into some
3
tight
wide, you're in the
spaces.
middle. Clear left. Right's all clear, bud. Clear left side.
Yeah, high line pass on Scott Speed. Joe Nemechek really choking up this line right here.
Clear low. Got one working the top.
Wonder if we don't get any cautions if I could
Second place is
lap
1
this
back.
field. Why is Jeff Gordon back here?
Car outside,
Martinsville,
back
of
your
all
door.
places. And Jeff Gordon's running in the 30s.
Clear on the outside.
As you can tell, got a 10-second advantage above Jimmy Johnson.
Door. Up top, at your door.
Soon to be 11.
Clear up high.
Now 11 seconds. Don't ask me why it's so lopsided in this game.
Right
You know,
side
can't
clear.
even compete within like 1 second of the field at Bristol, but I'm more than a second faster than everyone at Martinsville. Not quite sure how much this game was tested. Still way better than Ignition, though, because I can actually like play this game and make fun of it. Ignition's so bad, it's like a
High side's clear.
it's like a corrupted text file. It's like there's not much to see there, and it won't really open.
3 wide.
There we go. We're now lapping Boyer
Car up top.
with the Boyer line at Martinsville.
Got a spin behind you.
Well, I just ruined Ruderman, and no caution yet. Don't know what's going on where that didn't get a caution.
Inside.
And Danica
Ahead.
is just refusing to get out of the way at this point. There's Ruderman. Pieces of that barrel getting kicked up.
3 wide. 2 inside.
Danica
Car inside.
and Travis
Still down low.
gonna get it.
Inside's clear.
Okay, we're doing like 3 wide in 4 rows. People hitting the barrels. Paul Menard.
3. It's too fast, man. Check up. Check up.
I'm not coming into the
Keep
pits.
there. Keep digging. 4 wide.
Where is third in points going? Josh Wise pitted. 4 wide right now. This race is only getting better. Crap getting kicked up everywhere. That barrel is now racing with us.
At your door. 1 outside.
This is incredible.
Car outside.
Rootin', gouging, shoving, jam, slamming, and
2
cramming.
outside. 1 up top.
There's the barrel.
Closing on the bottom.
Up on the outside line, 3 and 4, it's made it that far.
Clear right. Okay, behind you.
This race
Going high.
is incredible. I have a almost 16-second lead, and it's still good.
Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
Just hit a piece of that barrel.
Car high. You're good there.
Threw Marcos up into the wall.
Right on the left.
That's Michael McDowell who's pitted right there. All right, a little bit of clear track right here. Ryan Newman, very slow exit.
Car outside you. Closing up top. Clear high.
I can obviously feel the tire wear now, but it's still not that bad, and I'm really just going to run the tires out until I can't,
Car in front's heading to the pit.
because it's not like it matters that much. You know, I got a 17-second lead. We can burn up some time in the pits.
Car outside. At your
In fact,
door.
we could almost burn up a full 4-tire pit stop.
Keep digging, buddy. Not over yet.
And there's Kyle Busch getting a competitive run up in the top 5. Proud of him for how bad his season's gone. Jimmy Johnson
Go down low.
about to be lapped.
Car outside. At your door.
There we go.
Clear on the high side.
And there is second place. Carl Edwards.
Go to the high side.
And now we're going to lap the entire field
Set him up. That's it.
here at Martinsville. Well,
Outside.
it's happened. We just lapped the field in a race. A monumental moment for Robby Gordon Motorsports. Just, you know, reminder of perspective, we qualified 36th, and we have now lapped the entire field. Oh yeah, they still have to complete a pit cycle. I mean, so do I, but this has just been done without even a pit cycle concluding, is that we've lapped everyone.
Whoa.
Caution.
Out. Caution's out.
And I almost rammed David Gillen there. There's the stack up in 3 and 4. Something involving Travis. same exact type crash as the numerous others. Pretty big hit there for Earnhardt and Keselowski. Jeff Burton piles in. But we can officially say that we have lapped the whole field in a race this season, because they're probably all going to take the wave around this time. But we've lapped the whole field. This pit stop could not have come at a better time. We're directly at halfway.
2 tires and a splash, I reckon. And we're going to put some tape on.
Now
Let's
we're
get
doing
this stuff figured out.
we're doing 4 tires, Ray. That's all we need. We got a 1 lap advantage above everyone who we're pitting with. There's no point in screwing around with it. Oh, if I mentioned I'm running max grill tape, I really am. The whole grill is taped off, and we're not overheating.
All right.
Dodge pit crew goes to work on the Ford, and we're probably going to come off as the leader again. So that's the perks of lapping the whole field. It looks like everyone's taking the wave around out of desperation, which means that nobody's going to be on tires. A couple cars pitted, obviously, and everybody else goes wave around or lucky dog. So we're going to have to deal with Michael McDowell, David Rudeman, Bobby Labonte on this restart. Everybody else is back on the lead lap. McMurray's still dead last. But everybody goes for the wave around. We're going to, dead middle of the race. We got to try and lap them all again at this point.
Stay focused. We can do this.
Then we go up to 4th gear.
No one's going to touch you out here today.
And there we go. Fresh tires feel amazing because they're actually, gripping and cornering. There we go. New fastest lap.
Still the fastest car out there. Come on, man. Make it count.
A 20:34. And I guarantee the rest of the field hasn't even gotten underneath the 21s. All right, so it's like, 3 laps into this run? I've already put a nearly 6-second advantage above Carl Edwards. And there's 5 cars on pit road for some reason. Danica, I think Paul Menard's one of them. Casey Mears was down. Some heavy hitters in the points right there. We got even more cars pitting. I think Biffle was one of them. Really? Getting to wonder why exactly. Wait a minute, I know exactly why I'm an idiot. It's because everyone took the wave around. So they were not good to make it on fuel, so they've actually just lapped themselves because they didn't pit. They may have just made their own situations worse. I think I've totally screwed over the field by lapping them. Because now they're all pitting. I don't have to pit. I'm done coming to pit road, unless we get a caution. Looks like McMurray's coming to the pits. Yes, he is.
Clear left side.
Either that or he was gearing up for a Matt Kenseth-style crash out of me. Man, that's a cluster. I mean, that is a real mess. There goes somebody.
40 to go. Keep it going.
Just going to drive right up the middle of this.
3 wide. 3 wide. You're in the middle.
Yep. Yep, 4 wide.
3 wide.
Yep,
Low.
sure.
Clear low. Car approaching your rear. Car inside.
That was good that Danica went to the
3
middle.
wide, 2 outside.
Otherwise, I was going to destroy that 10 car. 4 wide. Dive on in.
High side.
Didn't quite work. Hey, oh, all right. Not really sure where he was going there. Got a little sideways, left, right. Built his own chicane, coming off 2. And stopped right in front of McMurray. Coming to the pits, because screw it. Nothing matters. At this point, car's so good, It's my own race to lose, and pitting is not going to be my way to lose it.
Be ready, guys. Let's hustle here.
I don't really think we do need to hustle. I could just start last again, and in 40 laps, I'd lap the field. There we go, off the pits. And let's see where we're going to restart. I'm in the lead. I didn't see that many cars pitting. But then again, they came in behind me. A bunch of cars take the wave around.
Awesome
And
job,
so I
guys.
pitted,
Great teamwork.
and I still have the
Let's get
lead.
back in that rhythm.
So
Let's go get these boys.
absolutely nothing mattered, and I still don't really think we needed to hustle.
Car up high.
There we go, new fastest lap coming.
Great.
There it is,
That one's in the books. We having fun out there?
20.27. More cars coming into the pits. Not Earnhardt, but Kurt Busch. I thought that was the Mountain Dew car at first. No, that's the Mountain Dew car. So Junior and Kurt Busch both pitted right there. I'm totally willing to just miss corners to see who's pitting because, you know, the gap's so good. I don't even need to pit anymore. So we're good to make it to the finish regardless of how aggressive the setup is or how much I burn off the right front or how much I lock up the left front coming into the corners. None of that matters. You know, if there was any realistic circumstance where Robby Gordon could lap the field in about 40 laps, they would absolutely make sure that that chassis is banned and probably incinerated before the fall race. At this point, I've just settled into a rhythm, you know, like any short track. But the weird thing is, settling into said rhythm has delivered me a nearly 10-second advantage. That's normally not what you get at a short track. Casey Mears taking the wall line for some reason. He ain't going to have a very good points run today. This is not looking like it. Neither is Paul Menard, though. They're both back here. It's going to be a good points day for me, I can tell you that. Drifting that thing, coming off of turn 2. Dive it underneath Rudeman.
Car outside you. No one's going to touch you.
All right, there's the third place points man. Paul Menard going to easily get by him. And there is the second place points man as well, Casey Mears.
Outside.
No contest.
3 wide, 2 outside. At your door up top.
Look at how far Carl Edwards has fallen. Way in the back.
No one working the top. Car high.
Whoa, whoa, Clint. Stay off the sauce, man.
Top. At your door. Okay, let's use that clean air. Keep digging.
Just drifting, coming off of the corners at this point. I'm getting back to the throttle so early.
Car up top.
And overdrove that corner.
3 wide. 3 wide. You're in the middle.
Still drifting a little bit, but the power
Clear left.
is connecting to the road. As little as it seems like I'm making traction, the car's launching.
It's coming low.
And there is poor old McMurray again. About to be lapped for, like, what, the 4th time with ease again. Overdrove it.
Behind.
Well, not quite. Got it
Check your
committed.
inside. Clear right side.
There's lapping Jimmy Johnson, lapping Casey Kane.
We can do this all
2
day.
Hendrick cars right there.
Outside. Clear on the high side. Okay, 20 to go.
20 laps to go now. And I'm about to lap the whole field. Jeff Gordon's figured out his way back to the front. As you recall earlier, he was running down in the 30s. Now looks like he's running top 15 at least. Being passed 3 wide by Travis Pastrana, though. That's embarrassing. How about getting lapped 4 wide? How you like that?
Use that clean air. 4 wide.
I'm gonna say that's a little bit more embarrassing.
Clear right. Car closing on the inside.
I put it in there.
High.
Underneath the 29 car. Got the launch that time.
Car outside.
These are at least somewhat faster cars. I have to set up a little bit to pass, but not as much as you'd think
3 wide, 2 outside.
for, you know, lapping. Right there is 5th,
Right
Tony
side
Stewart.
clear.
There we go, turn down to the inside
Car outside you.
and get back to the throttle sooner.
1 outside.
Lapped.
Got one behind you. You having fun out there?
I'm definitely having fun out there now. Reeling in Kenseth, who's in 4th. Going for a bit of a crossover. There we go. Lapped. 3 Gibbs cars right there, by the way. Kenseth,
Car outside.
Dennis,
Trying to get to your corner.
and Kyle Busch.
Clear right side.
There we go. That was slick.
High side. Yellow flag. Yellow flag.
Go figure. It's when we're about to lap the whole field. Kyle Busch, you've been spared. You have been easily spared. Not quite now, but you get the point. Jeff Gordon screwed it up. Trying to chase Travis up the hill, ran out of talent himself, and got put right into the sand barrels. Very nice. Watch this for a flex. I'm pitting. I'd lapped all the way up to Kyle Busch, who was second. 4 tires, repair all the damage.
Okay, let's get this
Yeah,
started.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. We're going to restart with about 10 laps to go. I've got the most dominant car. Might as well throw another set of tires on it, just to set another fastest lap, hopefully. All right, there we go. We've got our tires, repaired some damage. There's the mess Jeff Gordon created, and so I've lost 1 spot. That's it. Kyle Busch is the only one with an advantage now, and I'm going to get that off of turn 2. Austin Dillon moves up. Well, look at this, because the wave around, they've picked up a lot of spots there. And Jeff Gordon gets kicked right to the back.
That was our fastest
Josh
stop
Wise
today.
right up
Awesome
behind me.
boys.
Okay, go get him, man. We're still
And
one
we're
of the
about to
best
have
cars
about
out
12
there.
laps to go.
You mark.
Kyle Busch gets a good restart,
Car in line with you.
cutting right down to the bottom.
Side's clear. Car on the bottom.
And we just traded lines easily out to the lead. See, no contest. Still proud of Kyle Busch for getting his season on track, though. Night and day difference. Fastest lap.
That's the fastest one out there. Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
Now 10 laps to go. The separation is already 2.5 seconds above Kyle Busch. Slammed the wall a little bit right there.
6 to go.
Honestly, all it did was help the car corner. And as you can tell, with 6 laps to go, the separation is now 7 seconds above Kyle Busch. I slowed up actually a little bit too much that time. Caught the curb. Now 2 to go.
2 to go.
The separation is more than half a track on Kyle Busch. Really nothing to say as I'm driving this thing home because it's been so one-sided, but we are going to get to lap Joe Nemechek again. At the very least.
Coming on the high side.
We got the white flag right here, so no more restarts.
Great. Nice and steady. Second place is way back.
Get Scott Speed up out of the way.
Up top, at your door. Clear high.
Here we go, maybe a bit of a send into the final corner.
3 wide, 2 outside. 3 wide, 2
Just
low.
for the fun of it. Gonna lap Jeff Burton, and there's another victory.
Great job, man. Great job.
NASCAR is not going to allow us to bring this car back.
Awesome job.
There's not a chance of it because we lapped the whole field twice. But there you go, that's a victory. And a grandfather clock. There we go, getting some nice uniform donuts. As the car, for some reason, rocks back and forth. I'm going to have to do that Polish victory lap that I was not able to do at Fontana. And there we go, I have completed the lap. Can I wreck it in front of the fans? Got up in the air. There we go.
Way to go.
That's what he celebrates. All them perfect donuts I did. Didn't get a word out of him. Slammed the wall as hard as possible. Way to go. There we go. Lighten it up. That is a grandfather clock. Well, not actually right there. That's just a random trophy. But that's another one for Robby Gordon Motorsports. That is the fakest Martinsville trophy I've ever seen.
What can I say? You're a winner. Keep it up, champ.
They said keep it up, champ. Wonder if that's foreshadowing. But anyway, I obviously scored the victory. Fastest lap was set lap 90. And my point about no one being able to set a sub 21 second lap was valid. Just have yourself a look at that. I was able to set a 20.24. No one was even able to get beneath the 21. So it's literally Bristol in reverse, because I was about a second off at Bristol. Now the field's about a second off at Martinsville. But either way, that's a good way of getting back on the short tracks in NASCAR The Game 2013. JGR, second through fourth. Kyle Busch, Dennis Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, and then Juan Pablo Montoya gets fifth position. Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Ryan Newman, Travis Pastrana, and Regan Smith round out the top 10. Back from there, Paul Menard 23rd, Casey Mears all the way down in 37th. Not a very good points day for him. He finished 2 laps behind me. Yeah, definitely big impact for him. Looks like Paul Menard's going to take the second place back in points. Or maybe a third contender. Not quite sure. Josh Wise dead last, 5 laps down. A bit of a fun race, but not very competitive one. I have to say that. When the fun really started, that's when the field started to wreck quite a bit. We shoved McMurray into that into that Jersey barrier, and the barrels started to fly everywhere. That's about the highlight of the race for me. All right, so that race was ridiculous in more ways than one, but obviously we got our 5th victory in 6 starts, 251 points accumulated. Matt Kenseth moves up to second, a more realistic second-place runner in points. Paul Menard still remains in 3rd spot. Ryan Newman 4th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 5th. Casey Mears drops all the way down to 6th. Martin Truex Jr. 7th. Dennis Hamlin in 8th. JPM running 9th. Carl Edwards 10th. Greg Biffle in 11th. And Jeff Gordon rounding out your chase grid. David Reagan sets down in 16th position. Shout out to Bobby Labonte running 18th in points. And Kyle Busch has climbed his way all the way up to 26th, tied in points with Michael McDowell of all people. Tony Stewart, by the way, down 27th. Earnhardt Jr. all the way down 32nd. Mark Martin down 34th. And Clinton Boyer, down 37th. So that was obviously a very one-sided race, but it was rather fun once the whole field started to fly apart. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Next race is Texas Motor Speedway, which has its multitude of its own issues, mainly being the fact that the AIs like to crash a lot coming off of either Turn 2 or Turn 4. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Obviously a lot more content coming up soon, and definitely the continuation of the Robby Gordon season mode.